Hello, my fellow wolf. Anna Wolf here, the host of Anna Wolf in the Cabin. My intention with these stories is to educate, inspire, and remind you that you aren't alone, and that we can walk hand in hand into the unknown more bravely, more courage than ever before. I'm not a doctor and I'm not a psychologist, but you can think of me as your muse, mentor, and guide, reminding you of all that we are capable of. Let's go inside the cabin, shall we? The topic of today is we need your art. If you had asked me 12 years ago, what are you? What's your profession? I would have answered without hesitation, I'm a musician. Well, fast forward 12 years, and now I'd say I'm within the creative sector, which often leads people to ask more specific questions. You see, when you run different projects at the same time and you're equally passionate about all of them, does it make sense to say that I am everything? No, because I'm not a doctor and I'm not a vet. But if you've been following my journey closely, you'd know that as a kid, I played this game called I Am Everything. And in my story, I was a teacher, a fashion designer, a film director, a musician, an actress, and a preacher. And guess what? Every single thing I played out in my grandmother's garden came true. In real life, I became all of those things. Now, calling myself Anna Wolf, one could say that's an example of manifestation. I thought it, I played it, almost every day of my life, until age 12. How fascinating. I truly believe that most children know what they want to become when they grow up. A big part of me believes that past lives are real. I've delved quite deeply into it through following the work of Dolores Cannon. If you don't know her, she was a hypnotherapist, author, and past life regressionist, known for her work in exploring metaphysics, reincarnation, and extraterrestrial encounters. Over her 50-year career, she developed the quantum healing hypnosis technique, QHHT, which she claimed allowed people to access past lives and communicate with a higher consciousness for healing and guidance. Dolores wrote numerous books based on her hypnosis sessions, including the Convoluted Universe series and Between Death and Life, covering topics like civilizations, spirit realms, and extraterrestrial influences on Earth. Her work is often categorized as New Age, focusing on spiritual awakening and cosmic consciousness. And let me tell you, I think she's phenomenal and definitely worth checking out. There's so much we don't know, so why box ourselves into thinking we have all the answers? I truly believe God has given us this vast, beautiful universe to explore and discover new and beautiful truths. So, here I am, within the creative sector of the performing arts. I am mostly known for my cult-like status in performance, but it wasn't always this way. I couldn't just access this artistry whenever I wanted. I felt like I was being prepared for it, and all the hardships and dark times pushed me forward into the light. Throughout the years of making music, some of my work gained international recognition, while others flopped. But was it really a flop? Did the work that didn't receive the international acclaim fail because of external forces? People? Industry? Dynamics? Yes, to some extent. But I also believe that we attract our experiences. I'm not removing myself from the accountability, but I've come to realize that what we reflect outward is reflected back to us. Let me give you an example. Cut back to 2014. I was still signed to a record label. I had just entered a new relationship after breaking up with my boyfriend of 7 years, thinking I had finally found stability. But I didn't realize it at the time that it was anything but stable. I was walking into a toxic relationship. Slowly being isolated from others, making myself small became the norm. I'm not blame shifting here, just observing. Through this time, I started building walls around my art. I didn't let people in because I felt unseen, and I wasn't willing to budge on the new working relationships I was being forced into. The shifting dynamics of the label made me withdraw, and in turn, they withdrew too. That meant no real promotion, no marketing budget, no blood, sweat, and tears like before, and the public felt the difference. They told me my previous work was better, Some didn't even know that I had released new material. It's normal. People attach to an artist's early work, especially when it gets major public attention. I read Matthew Perry's book where he talks about always being known as Chandler from Friends and how people never really acknowledged his later work. I get it. Now, obviously his fame was on a whole different scale, but the dynamic remains the same. You want to be recognized for your new self, but people hold on to the old version of you. This slowed down my momentum greatly. I started questioning my talent. People would say things like, "Why haven't I heard of you? You should be on the radio." Or, "Everyone in the industry knows you, so why haven't you blown up yet? Become the success." I asked my friend, who's been in the industry now for about 20 years. She's also a master tarot reader and highly intuitive. And I asked her, do I have a blockage? Like, why can't I break through in my music? I mean, I've received recognition from Amy Mann, Robert Smith from The Cure. I've been on the phone with Pete Gamberg, head of Atlantic Records. Why have the dots not been connecting? An inner dialogue would usually be, "You just need the right manager, Anna, to break through." But you see, this is not true. I don't need anyone. I lack certain skills in specific areas, and so I've started seeking out people who can help. If you're an artist, see if the story helps you. For example, I juggle multiple projects and hate asking for help. But recently, I turned to my sister. She helps me upload my audios to YouTube and other platforms. I reached out to Jannie Lantegan, my go-to guitarist, with great management skills, and asked him if he'd be inspired to book my latest tour. I'm delegating within my means. Don't stretch for the O2 arena. Look at what's around you. Focus on what you can control. The O2 can be a symbolic goal or even a literal one, but don't let it be your ball and chain. I pitched myself to open for Frank Turner. The reply, unfortunately, no. For a moment I thought, but why? But then I reminded myself, there are so many different factors at play. It's not always about me, you know. Taking a step back helps you detach from the outcome. It's not always about us. Recently, I released my new single, Dear Daddy. My PR and marketing friend connected me with someone at Spotify who curates editorial playlists. And just like that, overnight, I gained thousands of new monthly listeners and hundreds of new followers across my social media platform. One night, one playlist. The algorithm became my friend. The connections opened up the gate. And suddenly, the doubts about my artistry evaporated. I'm telling you this because you can't hold back on your art because of social media. The likes, the numbers, the DMs, none of it defines you. The only real thing is you, the artist, pushing forward. You have to keep going. Because, 1, music is energy. It swirls in the air and takes people with it, like Twister. Yes, the movie, one of my favorites. 2, there's something bigger at play. Whether you call it God, the universe, or even a simulation, we are not in control. 3, making art connects you to the next piece of art. Expansion, expansion, expansion! 4, talk to yourself like you would your best friend. Would you say, "Get up, you silly baby"? Or would you say, "Hey, hey, hey, step, 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 breathe"? 5, we live in a physical world. If we want to be seen, we need to embrace it. Social media, marketing, the algorithm, all of it. Don't resist it. 6, if we fear the world, how can we expect it to let us in? 7, write a list. Why am I holding back? Versus, how can I start showing my art to the world? 8, we need your art. Your work inspires others to step into their own creativity. 9, nothing serious is going on here. Get out of your head. This is your one life. So go, create, be everything. If you like what you heard, please do subscribe and leave an honest comment. Until next time, keep seeking, keep feeling, and most of all, start telling yourself better lies. And let's start moving alongside each other, more bravely, more boldly, into the unknown.